The fallout over the Weinstein scandal keeps growing. It's putting Hollywood in a bit of a catch-22. First, celebs and late-night hosts were slammed for being silent. Now they're not having much success talking about it either. Here's James Corden at the Amphar Gala this weekend. Take a look.
It's so beautiful, Harvey Weinstein has already asked tonight up to his hotel to give him a massage. It has been weird this week, though, hasn't it? Watching Harvey Weinstein in hot water. Ask any of the women who watched him take a bath. It's weird watching Harvey Weinstein in hot water.
So a lot of people, including Rose McGowan, expressed their outrage over this. So what do? You're in a catch-22.
Yeah, last week, everyone was saying, the late-night host didn't mention the Weinstein scandal, but they were, always making jokes about Roger Ailes and Bill O'Reilly. Yeah. SNL took a hit for not saying anything, and now you have SNL doing something, you have James Corden doing something, and now it's in poor taste, it's too soon.
Why?
So I don't know.
She picked on Rose McGowan, particularly singled out Corden. Well,
Yeah.
I don't really think that it's appropriate to attack comedians. I mean, we're on the right side of things. Also, the comedians are there to say the emperor has no clothes. We're important people right now. So I don't know why attack comedians. And yet, what you just said is interesting. She only went after Corden. Kimmel made a joke. Oliver made a joke. SNL. We all do that.
Well, and she used not productive language. She called him a piglet. Like, she made fun of his weight. Like,
why him?
I don't
Well, and he also apologized on Twitter. He said, to be clear, sexual assault is no laughing matter. I was not trying to make light of Harvey's inexcusable behavior, but to shame him, the abuser, not his victims. I am truly sorry for anyone offended.
There is a difference between making a joke about the accuser and the person who is the pig in this situation. Yeah. In this case, Harvey Weinstein.
It's social commentary.
You're making a joke about Harvey. I've made jokes about O'Reilly and all these guys. And you don't attack the victim. You shoot up, not down, when you're a comic, if you're a good comic.
Yeah.
And basically, that's what they are doing. I don't see that they're making jokes about the victims.
Well, and the joke about the night, where he goes, the night looks so good, it's a very benign joke, because the only human in that is Harvey Weinstein being shamed.
Right.
There's no, it was, so I thought he even tastefully walked the line of not coming down on.
Yeah.
And I always say comedians make us laugh in times where we need to more than ever. And like, I look for that, those moments.
I didn't laugh at it, though. I mean, I think I'm not a comedian, but I've worked with comedians in the past, and I think whether or not you laugh at something will make a difference. I didn't find it funny. I don't agree with what Rose McGowan said in her verbiage, but I didn't think it was funny at all. I did think SNL's was very funny. I laughed out loud at Weekend Update, so maybe that's the differentiation.
So that's the humor. It's funny.
If I'm laughing, then
you have to keep in mind humor is subjective. What makes me laugh may not make you laugh, may make her laugh, may not make her laugh. So you never know. And, James put his toe in the water to try to start that part of it. Yeah. And, listen, you can't have it both ways. You can't fetch and say, well, why aren't you doing it? And then when folks start doing it, say, well, I like the way you did it. Yeah. It's just, you have to make a decision, because this is not going to stop. This is going to keep going.
I noticed in the past that somebody like Rush Limbaugh, who thinks he's a comedian, and, he is a comedian. He's just not a funny comedian. He often makes jokes about the downtrodden. He'll take a shot at somebody who is in a weakened position. And that is really, I think, off limits. And also because you're not a comic.
But I think satire is important in all forms of our culture, especially political satire and things like this. But I just know when I watched it, I didn't think it was funny. I kind of groaned at it. Yeah. And I do think there are comedians that are particularly adept at social commentary, Jon Stewart being one of them. And James Corden, he's from England. I freely admit I don't watch his late night show, but I don't think he's been doing it that long.
Hysterical. I mean, I love his carpool karaoke. I think he hits the mark more than he misses it.
And he's not very pointed. Usually he's also someone that lifts people like it.
Yeah.
So,
but it had Bill Maher or Joy or Whoopi done it, would it have been taken in a different format than him?
Well, it depends on who thought it was funny. I mean, you're always subject to who thinks what you're doing is okay. Now, Mayim Bialik, also defended an op-ed she wrote about combating sexual harassment, claiming she dresses modestly and doesn't act flirtatiously with men, and that in a perfect world, women should be free to act however they want. But we can't be naive about the culture we live in. Yeah. And now people are accusing her of victim blaming, or is she just mildly ignorant?
I think it's, I think
don't
it's
know.
ignorant because I do like a lot of what she writes, and I do believe she did not intentionally mean to shame victims. But this is the part of the narrative that's so dangerous, perpetuating that abuse is about beauty, about sexual intimacy, about sex at all.
What you dress.
Yeah, about any of that. It has nothing to do with looks. Assault and predatory behavior make no discrimination. They will come after them. The only thing these victims have in common is a powerlessness in the situation.
Exactly.
And it doesn't matter what you look like.
I've said it over and over and over again, and I had to say it when I was dealing with these kinds of cases. I kept on trying, victims oftentimes blame themselves. Well, maybe if I didn't wear that, or maybe if I didn't go to the room, or maybe this, maybe that. And I often said, this is not about you. This is about him. He wanted to take power from you. This is about power and anger. You did nothing wrong.
A lot of times people talk that way because they feel so out of control in the situation.
Yes.
It's like, oh, maybe
They're
if I had done
blaming
this, I wouldn't have happened. To take control of the situation, which is really a fantasy because you don't have it.
I was surprised at sort of the tone deafness of her op-ed because she talked a lot about physical beauty. She basically said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm just not a 10. I'm not that beautiful, so I have the luxury of not being sexually assaulted.
She also said, I have decided that my sexual self is best reserved for private situations with those I'm most intimate with. I dress modestly. I don't act flirtatiously with men as a policy. So you guys don't know me that well. I'm new on the show, but I like to go to Vegas every few months and gamble, and I like to dress the way I like to dress in Vegas. And so what does that mean? Thank you very much. But so if I want to have some bourbon and tie one off and have a good time and flirt with,
clearly
that is an invitation for sexual assault?
This is clearly for someone who doesn't remember that people are sexually assaulted fully clothed.
Yeah.
Nuns have been sexually assaulted.
Old ladies.
It has nothing to do with that. And so I think perhaps because she lives a different kind of life, that's what, for her, everything is based on. But she doesn't, I don't think
I think it's ignorant.
But I interpret it as shaming people like me.
Yes.
Like if you're flirting with a guy, if you're going out, if you're not dressing modestly, then I'm somehow inviting sexual...
Well, if you're I suspect that if you are in a very religious kind of environment...
Which she is, I believe.
People like us are asking for trouble because we party. But
everyone.
But oh my God! But let's not judge to religious folks. Sometimes is a hard thing to ask of them.
I think
it's
she had
hard
good
to
intentions,
ask.
but I think it came off ignorant.
I've
got to read real quickly Mayim's statement.
Okay.
God forbid I would blame a woman for her assault based on her clothing or behavior. Anyone who knows me and my feminism knows that's absurd and not at all what this piece was about. It's so sad how vicious people are being when I basically live to make things better for women.
She didn't mean that.
She didn't.
No, that's
she wasn't
why I'm
trying.
saying she may have.
I don't know. She seems so clear in saying,
it's the way she
it's
feels.
the way that you dress. I don't know.
Again, it
what's her
may
name
come
said something
from
similar. Donna Karen last week.
It may come from where she is.